Picture this, June 8, 2021. A day that would go down in history as one of the most significant moments in the fight against organized crime. The world was about to witness an unprecedented global takedown, meticulously planned and executed by law enforcement agencies across multiple countries. This was not just another operation, it was a masterstroke that had been years in the making. All around the world, police teams were getting ready for a big operation. In briefing rooms from New York to Sydney, officers were being briefed on their roles. Maps were dotted with pins, each representing a target location. The atmosphere was electric, filled with a mix of anticipation and tension. This was a coordinated effort on a scale never seen before. They were going after organized crime, but not in the way you might think. This wasn't about storming drug dens or busting money laundering operations. No, this was something far more sophisticated. The target was the very means by which these criminals communicated and coordinated their illicit activities. This wasn't about drugs or money directly, it was about the technology that enabled these crimes. The focus was on encrypted phones, devices that had given criminals a false sense of security. These phones were supposed to be untraceable, unhackable, and completely secure. But they were about to find out just how wrong they were. It was about the phones these criminals used to communicate, encrypted phones. These devices had become the backbone of organized crime, allowing criminals to plan and execute their operations without fear of being intercepted. But what they didn't know was that these very phones were part of an elaborate sting operation. This was Operation ANØM, the biggest sting operation ever, run by the FBI and Australian Federal Police. For years, these agencies had been working in the shadows, developing a plan that would turn the tables on the criminal underworld. They had created a fake encrypted phone network, ANØM, and had managed to get it into the hands of criminals all over the world. For years, they'd secretly been running an encrypted phone network called ANØM. This network was designed to look and feel like any other secure communication tool, but it had a hidden feature. Every message sent through ANØM was copied and sent to law enforcement. This gave them unprecedented access to the inner workings of criminal organizations. It gave them a secret window into the criminal underworld. They could see plans being made, deals being struck, and crimes being coordinated in real time. This intelligence was invaluable, allowing them to build cases against some of the most dangerous criminals in the world. The raids that day sent shockwaves through the criminal world. Coordinated strikes were carried out simultaneously in multiple countries. Police stormed into homes, offices, and hideouts, catching criminals off guard. The element of surprise was crucial, and it worked perfectly. The scale of the operation was staggering. Drug lords, mafia bosses, even corrupt officials, no one was safe. The operation targeted high-profile figures who had long evaded justice. These were individuals who thought they were untouchable, protected by layers of security and secrecy. But on that day, their world came crashing down, all caught in a trap they never saw coming. The look of shock and disbelief on their faces was telling. They had been outsmarted, outmaneuvered, and outplayed by a coalition of law enforcement agencies that had worked tirelessly to bring them to justice. They thought these phones kept them safe. They were wrong. The operation was huge, over 800 arrests, tons of drugs seized, millions in cash recovered. The sheer volume of evidence collected was overwhelming. Tables were piled high with drugs, cash, and other illicit items. It was a visual representation of the scale of the criminal enterprises that had been dismantled. ANØM wasn't just a win, it changed how law enforcement fights organized crime forever. The success of this operation demonstrated the power of innovation and collaboration. It showed that with the right tools and strategies, even the most sophisticated criminal networks could be brought down. This was a new era in the fight against organized crime, and it all started with a simple yet brilliant idea: turning the criminals' own technology against them. To understand why ANØM was so important, we need to talk about encrypted communication. With everyone watching online, criminals wanted privacy, just like regular people. So they started using these special phones that were super secure. No cameras, no microphones, just messages that no one else could read. Platforms like Encrypted and SkyECC became popular. They were like digital fortresses for criminals. Drug deals, murder plots, money laundering, it all happened on these phones. The police were shut out. Their usual tricks like wiretaps didn't work anymore. The idea for ANØM came after other encrypted networks like Phantom Secure and Encrypted were cracked by the authorities. These networks were once thought to be impenetrable, providing a safe haven for criminals to communicate without fear of interception. However, law enforcement agencies around the world had been working tirelessly to find vulnerabilities in these systems. When they finally succeeded, it was a game changer. The takedown of Phantom Secure and EncroChat sent shockwaves through the criminal underworld, proving that no system was truly secure. This success gave the FBI an idea. What if they could create their own encrypted network, one that criminals would trust, but that they could monitor from the inside? The FBI saw a chance to use this to their advantage. They envisioned a platform that would lure in criminals, making them believe they were using a secure communication tool, while in reality, every message sent was being monitored by law enforcement. This would allow them to gather intelligence on criminal activities in real time, potentially preventing crimes before they happened, and catching criminals in the act. The plan was ambitious and risky, but the potential rewards were enormous. They teamed up with a former encrypted phone expert who had created a new, supposedly unbreakable platform. This expert had a deep understanding of the technology and the trust of the criminal community. He had previously worked on some of the most secure communication tools available, and his involvement lent credibility to the new platform. The FBI and their expert collaborator worked together to design ANØM, a system that appeared to be the pinnacle of secure communication but had a hidden backdoor that allowed law enforcement to access every message. This guy, whose identity is still a secret, became their secret weapon. His knowledge and connections were invaluable in getting the platform off the ground. He reached out to his contacts in the criminal world, promoting ANØM as the next big thing in secure communication. The criminals, always on the lookout for the latest and greatest tools to evade law enforcement, quickly adopted the new platform. They had no idea that they were walking straight into a trap. In Australia, the Australian Federal Police were leading the charge. They played a crucial role in the operation, working closely with the FBI to monitor the communications and gather intelligence. The collaboration between the two agencies was seamless, with both sides bringing their expertise and resources to the table. The Australian Federal Police had a deep understanding of the local criminal landscape, which was essential in interpreting the data and making arrests. They had a special team working day and night to keep track of all the messages from ANØM phones. This team of analysts was dedicated to sifting through the vast amounts of data, identifying key pieces of information, and passing it on to the relevant authorities. The work was intense and demanding, but the results were worth it. The intelligence gathered from ANØM led to numerous arrests and the disruption of several criminal networks. It was top secret. Only a few people knew the full story. The operation was shrouded in secrecy to ensure its success. If the criminals had any inkling that their communications were being monitored, the entire plan would have been compromised. The few who were in the know had to maintain the utmost discretion, keeping the details of the operation under wraps even from their closest colleagues. The success of ANØM was a testament to the power of collaboration, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Operation ANØM was all about teamwork. The FBI and Australian Federal Police worked together closely, sharing everything they knew. The FBI, with its resources and tech, built and spread the ANØM devices worldwide. The Australian Federal Police, experts in organized crime, focused on monitoring the ANØM network from a secret location. They analyzed millions of messages, building cases against these criminals. This partnership was key. Together, the FBI and Australian Federal Police created a net that no criminal could escape. For ANØM to work, criminals had to believe it was 100% secure. The FBI knew that trust was the key to making this operation successful. They needed to create an illusion so convincing that even the most cautious criminals would fall for it. This wasn't just about technology, it was about psychology. The criminals had to feel invincible, like they were using the most secure communication tool available. The FBI's challenge was to make ANØM appear as a fortress of secrecy, impenetrable and reliable. So, the FBI got creative. They didn't just rely on the technology itself, they crafted an entire narrative around it. They knew that to infiltrate the criminal underworld, they had to think like criminals. This meant understanding their fears, their desires, and their habits. The FBI's strategy involved meticulous planning and a deep dive into the psyche of the criminal world. They had to make ANØM not just a tool, but a symbol of trust and security. They used their informant to get ANØM phones into the hands of important criminals. This was a crucial step. The informant, someone already trusted within the criminal circles, became the perfect conduit. By placing the phones directly into the hands of key players, the FBI ensured that ANØM would be seen as a valuable asset. The informant's role was pivotal, acting as the bridge between the FBI and the criminal world. These guys, clueless about the trap, actually recommended the phones to their friends. The word spread quickly. Criminals, always on the lookout for secure communication methods, were eager to share this new tool. They believed they had found the ultimate solution to their problems. The more they used ANØM, the more they trusted it. And as they recommended it to their peers, the network of users grew exponentially. Word of mouth became ANØM's best marketing tool. The criminals themselves became unwitting ambassadors for the FBI's operation. Each recommendation, each new user, was another step towards the FBI's goal. The criminals' trust in ANØM was the operation's greatest asset. They believed they were safe, that their communications were beyond the reach of law enforcement. This false sense of security was exactly what the FBI had hoped to create. As more criminals joined, they felt safe talking freely. They discussed their plans, their deals, and their secrets without hesitation. The more they used ANØM, the more they believed in its security. This was the FBI's masterstroke. By creating an environment where criminals felt completely at ease, they were able to gather invaluable intelligence. Every conversation, every message was a piece of the puzzle. They had no idea every message, every deal, every threat was being recorded. The FBI was able to monitor their activities in real time. This unprecedented access allowed them to stay one step ahead. They could anticipate moves, prevent crimes, and gather evidence. The criminals' confidence in ANØM was their downfall. They never suspected that their most trusted tool was actually their greatest vulnerability. To make it even more convincing, the FBI even had a fake customer service team to help with any problems. This added layer of authenticity was crucial. The customer service team was trained to handle any issues, providing support and maintaining the illusion of a legitimate service. This attention to detail ensured that ANØM appeared as a fully functional, reliable product. The criminals had no reason to doubt its legitimacy. To the criminals, ANØM seemed totally legit. They trusted it with their most sensitive information, never realizing that they were playing right into the FBI's hands. The operation was a testament to the power of deception and the importance of understanding your adversary. By turning the criminals' own trust against them,